Today I'm sharing with you my wartime cookbooks that I'm going to be using in my kitchen as part of my rations challenge for 2026. These books are going to guide me as to how I plan our meals, use rations wisely, and cook on a budget and waste nothing. So if you're interested in that, do follow along in this video and get some really useful information of books that you can use to do your own wartime challenge. Hi everyone, welcome back to Wildwood Cottage and welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you're all doing well and I hope you're all having a good week so far. Welcome to all you lovely new subscribers. Gosh, we have jumped in subscribers so far this year. Gosh, I can't believe how many people subscribed to my last video. Just a little note at the beginning of the video, if you do like this video, apparently YouTube now has a new setting that you can press the hype button and YouTube will promote my video further. So thank you very much for all you lovely new subscribers and thank you to all you old subscribers for coming back and putting up with me. So today we are going to be looking at my wartime cookbooks that I'm going to be using for my rations cooking in the kitchen throughout 2026. I have been using my wartime cookbooks last year in 2025 and I've found them really useful for using wartime rations effectively and not having a lot of food waste. So if that's something you're interested in, then this video is for you. I have an awful lot of wartime books. I've just been sorting them out this morning because I'm going to do 3 videos based on different categories of my wartime books. And I've got so many. I really don't need to buy any more. And I've been looking in the comments section and people are suggesting books that they've got. And I'm thinking, no, it's a no spend year, low spend year, and I'm not spending any money on books. So I'm going to be good and I'm going to resist because I could open a library myself with all the books that I've got. Anyway, getting back to the wartime challenge, I'm going to try and not waffle in this video because the last video was very waffly. Anyway, getting back to the wartime cookbooks, there's a lot of resources out there and information out there if you look for it. And I'm hoping that I can bring the war rations to you in a real way that you can use to save money and to live on a very tight budget because I want to live an extremely frugal lifestyle this year. I don't want to spend money unless I have to. And I want to start saving and saving towards mine and my husband's retirement and save for the things that we need instead of having to use credit cards. My husband and I are both debt free and we want to stay that way and be able to pay cash for the things that we need. And this is an excellent way to get your food budget down. And I'm hoping to get my food budget down to 40 or 50 pounds for 2 weeks shopping. Now, I'm up to nearly 50 pounds, I think, for my last 2 weeks shopping, which I don't think is bad because that's only 25 pounds a week. But that is simply because I use my wartime cookbooks. I use as little as possible following the war rations. And I'm hoping also to introduce the points strategy in as well. And a lovely viewer I was talking to in the comments section was saying about how it's going to encourage her to spend less. And I do think that is very true, that if you follow the war rations and the points system, it's going to make things very effective for you, that you can buy very little. You'll store what you need rather than what you want, and you'll have very little waste. So that's really what my challenge is all about this year. I'm fed up with all the food waste. I'm fed up with all the things that go off very quickly and that get thrown away. So I do think that this wartime way of living, I don't want to be immersed in the 1940s, but I do want to live effectively sort of on the strategies of the 1940s. Now, the year I've chosen is 1943. So the rations I'm following and the point system I'm following are from 1943. So any of the information I find, I will make that available to you. But there is a separate video coming up about that. I'm going to try and do 2 videos a week because I want to get as much information out to you as I can, so you can be successful in doing your challenge as well. And plus, it'll encourage me to be immersed in this a bit more too. So yeah, that said, there's another video coming up with my shopping video about the point system and about the war rations. And then I'll do another video showing you my meal planning to go with the food I've bought and the rations and the points. So there's an awful lot to come. As I say, this video is about the books. So the first books I'm going to show you are the books that I use all the time. I use them every day. I use them to do my meal planning. I use them to do my shopping. So yeah, I just use them all the time, and it also boosts my research because the ingredients I have to look for either learn to make myself because they're too expensive to buy, or simply just to cut down on the amount of food I have to buy, replace it with what I can make myself, and then I can get more with the money that I've got. So it just kind of makes sense. So this is the first one. You have any long-term viewers, you have seen this book before. This one's called Eating for Victory. Now, I love this book. There is so much information in it. I paid about £3 for it, I think, on eBay. It's classed as used. This is a new copy. But as you can see, I've used it a lot. There's food splashes all over it. But the thing I love about this book is it's laid out in the old leaflets that were available during the war. So there's so much information in this. As you can see, there's cooking for one, there's how to preserve things, there's the ABC of nutrition. Yeah, there's just loads of information in here. Puddings. Now, I love this pudding section. One of my recipes that I'm going to be putting in my new wartime cookbook. I'm doing a top 10 of my favourite wartime recipes, and this steamed pudding, my version, is going to be one of them. There's also batter recipes, there's body shaping foods as to what food you need to eat to get all your vitamins and your minerals, hints and cooking potatoes. So this is a very useful book. Potato, peas and the carrots were the mainstay of the diet and what the Ministry of Food really pushed. And there's a lot of recipes in here and information in here about potatoes and about carrots and about how to plan your meals. There's also a meal planner in here for 7 days of meals. So yeah, this is a very useful book. How to make biscuits, how to make cakes, how to make pastry, how to use your fat ration, a lot of information, how to use fish. So yeah, if you can get hold of this book, do. I highly recommend it for a successful wartime challenge because there's so many easy recipes in here. It uses so few ingredients. And I just sit and read it and just get ideas as to what meals I can do from scratch out of my own head rather than following all these recipes, because I found now that I know so many of these recipes that I want to also try and create them myself. And that's what this book, I think, is designed to do, to spare your own creativity in making your own war ration meals. So highly recommend this one, about £3 on eBay. And yeah, it says healthy home front cooking on war rations. So it's everything you need in one book. Right, I'm going to do a whistle stop. I'm not going to make this a long video. The next one is an eating, we'll eat again. Now, I love this book as well. I use this book all the time. I use it for making cakes. It's got Wilton pie in it, which I have made a video about. I'll pop that in the I button for you. There's also my cottage pie video. I'll pop that in the I button for you. And they're going to be things that are in my wartime rations cookbook because I just love those recipes. They're my mainstay. They're the thing that I use again and again. And these are recipe ideas I've had from using this book. There's a lot of information in this book. It was by Marguerite Patton. There's also a lot of wartime information in this book as well. And Marguerite Patton, I think she works for the Ministry of Food, and she helped design a lot of the recipes to go with the war rations. And I think as well, she may have been on the radio on one of the cookery programs that they did on the radio at the time. So yeah, in this book, it's got soups, main meals, vegetable dishes, puddings, snacks and supper dishes, cakes and bacon, preserving, how to make do with the rations that you've got and what meals you can put together, and a few recipes from just after the war. So again, this is laid out really simply for you to follow. Potato peat. Let's talk about warming foods, different recipes, curried corned beef, corned beef hash, sausage and beans. Um, there's brisket of beef, fish flan, suet crust pastry, curried cod, baked fish cakes. So there's a lot in here. There's also cakes as well, as I say, how to preserve, Scottish shortbread, icing, gingerbread men. I made last night out of this book, I made parkin cake, and it used syrup. I'm going to make another one and I'm going to make it with treacle. I can't see the recipe just now. Simnel cake. Yeah, parkin cake. It was definitely out of this book. gingerbread parkin. Ginger parkin, that was it, this recipe here. So I do follow this all the time. I highly recommend it. Again, it was probably about £2.50 on eBay from World of Books. So yeah, we'll eat again. Highly recommend it. Imperial War Museum book, Marguerite Patton. I don't use this one very often because this is after just as war finished and until rations finished. But if it is a rations challenge you're doing, or wartime rations challenge, then this book could be quite useful to you. It's called Post-War Kitchen. Again, Marguerite Patton. She was kind of the guru of the day, and this is set out in years rather than recipes itself. This was more set out, as you can see, it's got information about the end of the war, some beautiful pictures of some lovely ladies in their wartime outfits, women's hour. So yeah, this is set out in years rather than, I'm just trying to find your cover page. There you go. Set out in years rather than recipes by topic. So it takes a little bit more going through, but there's an awful lot more recipes in that. So yeah, I can recommend that, but I'm not going to be using this for my rations challenge because I'm following 1943 and this starts at 1945. But yeah, highly recommend that one as well. And this is another book. A lady mentioned that she's got this book as well. Yes, I'm going to be using this copy as well, Feeding the Nation. It's 1940 to 1954. Again, Marguerite Patton. There's so many books out there from her. She was a very useful lady during the war. And again, this is one I do follow. There's lots of recipes. It's nicely laid out. I think I got this one for about £3 on eBay or in the charity shop even, I think it might have been. But it's got lots of different recipes in it. If you're interested, now this one takes you up to 1954, the end of the war. So yeah, street parties. Let me try and find where it finishes on the war. Cakes and bacon, ginger parkin again, ginger and date cake, carrot cookies, dates and walnut bars. So yeah, it's also got a picture of Prince Charles being born and the Queen and her husband, Prince Philip. So yeah, highly recommend this book. I am going to be using this book as part of my challenge. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. I mean, these books are only coppers. So even if you're doing a low spend year, this will fit in with that. And I do recommend you get them to make your challenge successful. Yes, there is a lot of information online, but I think the books are more useful because everything's in one place. When you go online, you have to go searching. And I don't think it's that easy to stick to the wartime challenge by searching for things on YouTube or eBay, not eBay, on Google. So I do think having at least one book, if you're going to have just one book, I would say get this one because this one has everything you need to learn how to cook on a war ration and how to keep your budget right down. I mean, right down to virtually nothing, just shopping for vegetables and a little bit of meat, basically. So if this is your thing and you really want to do the extreme frugal thing, I really do recommend you get this one. But yes, I will be using this one as well. So the other one I use a lot. Now it's a compilation book of recipes going back way back when. There's an awful lot in here. And this book, I use this a lot in the kitchen, especially for cake making. And it doesn't really use a lot of ingredients. So I assume a lot of them came from both of the wars and even past into Victorian times. And there's a lot of recipes in here. Now I picked up my copy for £1 in the charity shop and it's got so many recipes in it. See, it's got loads of recipes in it. It's called the Farmhouse Kitchen Cookbook. It was done by Yorkshire Television and I think it was done in the 70s. But it's just got so many different recipes in it from different people. I think it's just normal people putting their favourite recipes into the book. So that's really nice. This one's from 1984. So it's not a wartime book, but it is very useful. So if you have this on your kitchen shelf of books, root it out. There's some lovely recipes in there that are easy to follow on a war ration. So I recommend that one as well. But my main recommendations, I think, for being successful on this challenge are these two. Cheap chips, £6 for the two, maybe cheaper. And you'll have a good array of recipes, a good selection of recipes to keep you going. So the next selection I want to talk about is useful books that I have on my bookshelf, things that would have been suggested during the war, and just things that have come from the TV series as well. The Wartime Kitchen Garden, the Wartime Kitchen, and the Victorian Farm. I've got this one as well. I've got hints and tips from times past. I learned how to make apple cider vinegar from this one, which is useful if you're wanting to use up all the scraps from your apple harvest. If you get organic apples, you can use the cores and you can use the skins to make your apple cider vinegar. And all you need is a bit of apple juice to go with it and some apple cider starter. So that's it really, and water. And you can make apple cider vinegar. So this book has been very useful. It has cleaning recipes in it for making soap powder, for making soaps, ways to clean your home, ways to freshen up your clothes, personal care. So there's loads of stuff in this book, absolutely loads. Foods for helping with colds, reducing stress. I think I got a vitamin C recipe out of this as well. Drying fruits and vegetables to use. What else is there? Culinary, there's recipes in here for using foods that you get out of your garden. Water glassing eggs, how to pickle onions. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. How to use herbs and things in the kitchen as well. So if you have this book or you come across it in a thrift shop, it's definitely worth it. Hints and tips from times past, and it's a Reader's Digest book, which is usually really good. So that's the first one that I'm going to be using for reference rather than as a Bible. Those other books are going to be like my Bibles for cooking in the kitchen. They already are. I don't really use. They're the ones I tend to go to if I'm thinking, what shall I cook tonight? I go to those books first and look through them. So, yeah, the other one I've got is off the TV series. A lot of you already have this book. This is the one with Ruth Goodman, Peter Ginn, and Alex Langston's The Wartime Farm. I got this on eBay for £2, I think it was, including postage. And again, there's lots of information in here from the TV series. There's things about clothes they wore, foods they had, rations, homemade shampoo. So yeah, there's loads of information in this. If you love the TV series, I highly recommend trying to get this one. The Wartime Farm. There is wartime food, how they managed, wartime um, gardening on the home front. And there's also lots of war information as well, about farming and about prisoners of war and all sorts of stuff like that. Food rationing is another good section in there if you want to look up a bit more about that. So, yeah, that is going to be another book that I will be following and reading just for reference, really, just to look through, just to get information. So if you have that on your shelf, do root it out. There's some good stuff in there for using for the challenge. And the other one I've got just to read through is by the same people, and it was from the series The Victorian Farm. So I wanted, because a lot of stuff that they would have used during the war would have been things that would have been passed down through grandparents and through parents, which would have come from the Victorian era. So yeah, I want to use this one. This is a fairly new one to me. I bought this last year because it was recommended by a lovely viewer. I think I paid £2 or £3 again in a charity shop. I don't think I got this one on eBay. And it's got all sorts of different stuff. Boot making, how to make a gate hurdle, cricket at the time, dairy, farrowing the pigs, manure, how to use the manure, making mincemeat, Christmas food, smoking, cider making, pickling, walled gardens, winter wheat, renovating the cottage. There's so much in this book. It's well worth a read, even if you don't use it for hints and tips for your challenge. I do recommend that one as well. So they're the books I'm going to be using as part of my War Rations Challenge for 2026. I am doing some recipes for you as well that will come in as part of, I think, a Sunday video. Because what I'm hoping to do with this channel now is just be of an information channel, but I also want to keep up with my vlogging as well and show you just daily things that are going on around here. So we will be still doing the garden videos because the digging for victory is going to be a big part of this challenge as well. And that's coming up in the next video about my books, is my digging for victory books and the gardening books that I'm going to be using for the challenge as my main use, my main source, and also again, like the cookbooks, my resources for reference. So that's going to come up in the next video next Wednesday. But on Sunday, we're going to be looking at the seeds that I'm sowing. And I'm also going to pop in a yogurt making video as well to use up some of my war rations of milk. So if you're interested in that, do stay tuned to my channel, do stay tuned to my videos, and we'll muddle along through this challenge together and encourage each other to save money, to live on a budget, and to be extremely frugal and not to waste anything. And I think that's going to be a really good way to go into 2026 so we can enjoy the year and have more money in our pockets and in our bank accounts. So if you're interested in that, do like and subscribe. Do hit the notification bell, and that'll tell you when I upload new videos. Apparently, only 20% of you subscribers have pressed the bell to be notified. So if you're not seeing my videos come up in your feed, then that is why. Do go over and click the bell. You go onto my channel page and click the bell next to the subscribe button. Also, there is a new setting, as I said at the beginning, of the hype button. So do press that and YouTube will push my videos for me so I don't have to promote them. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you have a good week. There is hopefully going to be 2 videos a week. Sunday is going to be a vlog video of different things going on, what I'm making, maybe a recipe of what I've made, and look around the garden or look on around the house, or maybe even do amends. So that's going to be more of a relaxing video, more of a, I don't know, more of a vlog. And then the weekly video is going to be more of a teaching. So I do hope you've enjoyed my video. Again, do like and subscribe, do hit the hype button, and I will see you again soon. So take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.